Well, hello Story Chasers, this is Amber, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Jackery 1500. This is an 1800 watt pure sine inverter lithium battery system all in one. And I want to talk to you today about how you can power your van, your RV, your car, your tent camping, going outside, even in a sticks and bricks house with just this beast of a system. All right, guys, let's get started. First of all, I want to thank Jackery for sending me the Jackery Explorer 1500. And we're going to go through all of the components of it today and show you how you can use this in various settings and how I actually use it, and I can tell you my experience with it. So first off, I just want to say I'm not very technological when it comes to systems like this. I've never put a solar power system together in my van. I've always had things done for me. You don't need any technical experience with this Jackery whatsoever. It's really easy. It's plug and play. Seriously, it is that easy, and I'm going to show you how to do all of it right now. I'm going to talk to you about my experience with it and how I use it in my van where I travel full time on the road. I've been on the road for a little over 5 years now, and how I use something like this to help me with my current solar system that I already have on the van, and then also explain to you how you might possibly be able to use it if you're on the road, or even if you're in a sticks and bricks house and you want to use it to power your electric lawnmower, something like that. So this is a Jackery Explorer 1500, which you can see here, but it's also an 1800 watt pure sine inverter and lithium system. Why is this important? The reason why the pure sine is important is because when you're charging expensive equipment, especially like your laptops, your computer equipment, your camera equipment, you want clean energy coming out from a system like this or from any inverter. If it's not clean, it could damage your electronics, and you don't want that at all. So it's especially important that you have the pure sine, which this is. So that's absolutely amazing. It's 1800 watts. So it has an inverter in it, it has a lithium battery in it, and it's just a beast. I'm just gonna say that. I keep referring to it as a beast because it is. It's large, and it does so many things, and we're gonna put it through its paces right now. I have all this different electronic equipment that I use in my van and things that you guys have asked me to kind of review and test out and see if it'll work on the Jackery. Now, I have also had a Jackery 500 and a Jackery 1000. I gave the Jackery 500 away, but I still have the 1000 that I use today, and I'm going to show you that also in comparison with this. Jackery sent this kit that goes with the battery system, and in this, it's got this nice little carrying case with a handle, and inside of it, I like how they call it the Jackery solar generator, by the way. When you look inside here, you have a couple of different items. You have your brick, which is your charging cable. You have this cord right here, which allows you to plug into your DC or your cigarette lighter, if you will, in your car, your RV, your van, whatever you have, and plug the other side into the Jackery and charge directly from your car as you're driving. So that's a huge plus. A lot of people don't even use the solar panels with this because they use this instead to just charge as they go, and they don't even need to deploy the solar panels whatsoever. The other thing it has is these two adapters here where you plug in the 4 solar panels that come with it. Each solar panel is 100 watts each, so a total of 400 watts. You plug them into these little adapters, and then you plug the ends into the input section here, and that charges your Jackery battery. So I want to plug the brick into my van and show you the power that it brings in just from the van itself. So I'll turn on my inverter. I'm going to plug this in right here. See that it's bringing in 23 watts, 73 watts, 120 watts of power. It's at 71%. It's actually going up just a little bit, 261, 262. So this little ring here tells you that it's actually charging right now. And I love that Jackery has this on here. We have no output yet because we haven't actually plugged anything in. The only thing that I would say that I don't like about this system is the display. I love the display here, but it times out really, really quickly. So you'll see I keep having to push this to see the actual display. So some of the components that we have here is we have a USB-C, a regular USB, and then a quick charge USB. And to turn each module on, you just click that button. You can see the green light come on. And now you're able to use this module area. Over here we have 3 AC 110 volt plugins. Again, to use that, you just click on the button to access that module. We also have a DC input. Plug that in right there and use that. So right now we're actually gonna plug in an iPhone. And I'm gonna do it under the quick charge. You can see we have no output, but if I turn it on, we should see, yep, it's going up. 11 watts is what it's using. Like I said, we're gonna put this through its paces. We're gonna see how each electronic piece of equipment affects this and how much this is able to handle. Okay, so the phone is plugged in now. The other thing I use a lot of is my USB fan. It's just a little quick clamp USB fan. We're gonna plug that in. So it goes up a little bit. We'll turn it on. It's going up to about 18 to 19 watts right now. Even with it off and it's just charging, it's sitting around 18. So I wanna keep those plugged in because I want to continue to see how each thing affects it. The fan is only 5.5 watts, so doesn't actually take a lot of power, which is amazing. And it sure does provide a lot of benefit. All right, so now we have a curling iron, and this is 130 watts. I'm gonna plug it into the first AC plug, turn it on. We can see it was at 19, and if I actually turn the curling iron on, it's going up to 120 watts, 245. Now remember, this is 1800 watts, so we're gonna keep plugging in. The other thing I have here is a hair dryer. Now this hair dryer is 1875 watts. This is an 1800 watt inverter. It should make the power station go off because it's gonna be too heavy of a load. So I'm actually going to remove these items. We don't wanna overload it with everything on there right now. Let's just test the actual hair dryer itself by itself. We have 0 output. I'm going to plug this in, turn that off. All right, hair dryer is about to go on. Remember, 1875 watts. All right, low for the hair dryer. So it has 354 watts it's using right now. I'm gonna turn it all the way on high. 1,405 watts. So now the true test is, let's plug everything else back in and see what it does. We'll plug in the fan and the phone. Going to plug the curling iron back in as well. That's on. Turn the curling iron on. All right. All of those are plugged in. It's using 244 watts of power now. I'm going to turn this on low. It should make the entire battery go off because it's only 1800 watts. So let's test it. 593, 594, high. 1636. Okay. One thing to note is this is a 1870 watt hair dryer, and it's only getting up to 1400 watts roughly. Plus, with everything else plugged in, it's pulling about 245 watts. Even with this turned on, it's still only getting up to 1600 watts. So I'm able to charge my phone, turn on my USB fan because, you know, while I'm getting ready in the morning, it's hot sometimes. So I like having that fan on me. I can turn my curling iron on. At the same time, I can have that heating up while I'm drying my hair. So as you can see, this is really robust. It's covering a lot of things that you can use in order to power all of these items, you know, while you're getting ready in the morning. Okay, so another thing that you guys asked me to check on was the induction cooktop. So I'm actually going to unplug all of these since we've kind of done a load test now and see what we get from the induction cooktop. So here's my induction cooktop. This is 1800 watts. Now I use this all the time to cook because I don't really like my propane stove. It uses propane, which it's a propane stove, but where my actual propane tank is at, it's really low to the ground and I don't like to fill it up. So I bought this instead and it cooks really, really fast. So I just plug this in. It says it's using 36 watts just to plug it in. Now we're gonna turn it on high, the highest setting. And, oh, you know what? I need to actually put something on top of it because you hear that beeping. It wants something on it. I'm just gonna put my little pot that I use to heat up water for my coffee on top and then turn this on. 502, 501. So interesting, it's an 1800 watt induction cooktop, yet it's not pulling that much power. And I can see this is heating up quite a bit. So I can hear the fan running on the Jackery too. So something that people ask me about all the time is, can you actually run this Instant Pot off of the Jackery? Ideally, we should be able to. It's only 700 watts. We've seen with a hairdryer that's 1,875 watts that it didn't even get up to that. So let's test the Instant Pot and see what it does. So we're gonna plug the Instant Pot in here. We still have our phone and fan here. I'm gonna turn the Instant Pot on pressure cook for 6 minutes is good right there. We just need it to come on. So it's 18 watts right now. The pressure cooker is signaling that it's on. It's getting up to 605 watts. So perfect, you can actually cook with your Instant Pot off of this Jackery 1500. Technically, you can turn on your hairdryer and your curling iron and the fan and have all of this going so you can get ready and cook all at the same time. So we're gonna test that out too. We have the curling iron once again, and we've got 3 areas here to plug in, so we can plug all this in. I'm gonna turn that on. We've got the hairdryer. I'm running out of places to put this stuff at. I'm gonna plug in the hairdryer. Curling iron is on, Instant Pot is on. We have the fan on, we have the phone charging. Now we're gonna turn on the hairdryer. It's at 823 watts right now of usage. This should blow it, to be honest. Let's see. I'm gonna turn it on low. And now we're gonna turn it on high. So that was 1100 watts. Ooh. 2217. How is this thing still on? 2215. Okay, that's interesting to me. I don't know how that's still on. I'm a little perplexed. You saw that, didn't you? Hold on. Look at that. Right here. 2215. It also says the heat is getting really high on this, and you might be able to hear the fan as well. The fan is going because it's getting pretty hot. Maybe once it reaches a point where it's just too hot, it'll flip everything off. But that was interesting. Look at all these devices plugged in. So there you have it, guys. Look at all the things that I use all the time that are high energy users, and this beast can power it. It's amazing. I'm actually seriously impressed by doing this test myself. This is the first time I've done the test. Were you guys really impressed with this thing? I'm still super shocked by it. But you can see what this thing can do and all of the things that you can charge off of it. So let's talk about the other practical uses. You don't have to actually power a van or an RV with this. If you're a person that's in a house, you can use this for many different reasons. So you can take this outside. Let's say you're outside doing yard work and you want to power on a radio back there, or you know what, even what about an electric mower? You don't have to actually plug into a power source on your house, and you can move this around with you a little bit. The other thing that I've used this for a lot is for astrophotography. If I want my battery to stay charged all night long, I want to make sure it doesn't go off while I'm getting these really cool time lapses outside. So I take my Jackery outside and then plug my camera into that so that it's constantly charging and I don't lose power and I can get those amazing, amazing pictures. If you're tent camping, you can take this with you and cook off of it as well using all of the things that I've just shown you here. There's so many different uses: charging your phone, charging your camera equipment, essentially anything that you need to be portable. You can use the Jackery and take this with you anywhere and charge up all of your electronic devices. Now I want to show you what this looks like compared to the 1000. So here is the Jackery 1000. It is a 1000 watt pure sine inverter. And let's compare it next to the Jackery 1500. So you can see size-wise, it's definitely different. The 1500 is going to be bigger, specifically because it's going to require more power, right? So the Jackery 1000 also has a lot of the same components that the Jackery 1500 does, with the USB ports, the 3 AC outlets, and the DC power as well. The biggest difference, of course, is the amount of power it's going to give you, and the fact that you can plug in 4 solar panels to the Jackery 1500 versus the 1000. If you're looking for something a little bit smaller, you can go with the 1000 or even the 500. It really depends on how much you're using consumption-wise. This obviously can hold more power, so your battery is going to last a lot longer. And also what kind of devices you're plugging into it and how much power it needs. So for instance, the 1000 is not going to work with anything that's typically going to be above 1000 watts as far as using it. So like the Instant Pot is 700, that would be fine. But the hair dryer is 1875. It was pulling about 1400 watts. So in that case, you would want the Jackery 1500. So one of the other things that I use this Jackery for is powering up my phone at night and charging a lot of my equipment. Even though I have house batteries that are 400 amp hours and I have 250 watts of solar on top, I like to really conserve my batteries at night because a lot of times I have fans running, the Fantastic fan. I have my phone sometimes charging in the back, or a fan charging off the DC power in the back. I have my freezer and my refrigerator also running off of DC power. So all of those things are drawing energy off of my batteries at night, and I'm not bringing any solar energy. What I'll do is I'll plug my phone into this or my camera equipment so that I'm getting a good charge off of my equipment. Everything's charging up overnight and I'm not having to use my house batteries. And then I don't run the risk of them actually shutting off in the middle of the night because I've drained them. Overall, I love this Jackery 1500. Actually quite a bit better than I do the 1000, only because it has more power. And who doesn't want more power? Thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well if you like the content that I'm producing, along with my travel vlogs and van tours and RV tours and all of those things. And also hit the notification bell to be notified every time I come out with a new video. All right guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.